Hey, Shalom Markin, this is Ricard Makapashim from GMS London, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing this truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video. Not sure the title just yet, but it's going to be on the lines of, these devils are nothing but liars, right? Because these men are lying. Lying every day, every minute. Trump lying every second. Every time he opens his mouth, he's lying. About what's going on, in the war, because they're doing stupendously, right? They're doing so crazy well, right? That nothing's going wrong, right? And these men are lying, right? But they're a nation of liars. Okay, Esau is nothing but a damn liar. So how when do you ever get the truth from him? Very, very rarely do you get any truth coming out of this devil, man. He's always, manipulating and distorting, facts and figures and all these different types of things, right? He ain't nothing but lying. He's been lying to the whole world about who he is. He's just lying about everything, right? So now it's no different. The propaganda is strong, but it's unbelievable. Like literally, it's unbelievable. But the stuff that he speaks, the stuff that he says is going on, right? Which ain't going on, you know. And like I said, the lies are gonna unravel. Okay, the lies that I've been told about everything is gonna unravel, right? But it's gonna manifest out there in the Middle East, man. Okay, when you lose, when you lose, and everybody sees that you lose, and that you're losing, right? When Yahweh Shai brings judgment upon you, and America when it's destroyed, everyone's gonna know that you was lying, right? And you've been lying from the beginning. All right, so I just want to get into this topic. I'm gonna start here in Psalms chapter 40. Verse 4, right? It says, blessed is that man that maketh the Lord Yahweh his trust, and respecteth not the proud, right? And like we keep going on, man, these Edomites, especially these Americans, man, they're proud as hell. They're proud of their race. They're proud of their achievement. They're proud of all the bloodshed and the theft. You know what I mean? Like, as much as they don't want to really, talk about it for the most part, right? They are proud people, man, because I'm not saying they don't like talking about being proud, but all the wickedness that they've done, they don't like putting that in the spotlight. But they hella proud, right? And they enjoy boasting, in being so-called white and this and that. Or we got great history and great military and this and that and the third, right? But you're really just a bunch of cowards, man, and liars, right? And murderers. All right, that's the truth, right? Thieves. Okay. So blessed is the man that maketh the Lord his trust, right? Their trust is not in the Most High, it's in their guns, right? It's in their wealth, their ability to bully nations, the ability to blow up nations. That's what they respect. That's what they trust in, right? So respect is not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies, right? And that's their whole nation is founded upon lies. Okay, their whole identity is founded upon lies. They are quick to separate themselves from the Edomites in the scriptures. They don't want to be those guys, but that's who you are. You're hiding. Scripture says, was speaking of Cain, but spiritually, you Edomites, man, that they're a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, man. So you're on the run from who you are, right? For the things that you do, right? Because you've done nothing but wickedness on the earth, man. Right? And so there's no convincing us, like, that anything that you say is true, man. That's why we have to fact find, we have to verify all these different things. When you talk, we have to do all these things because you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted to tell the truth, and that's why alternative media exists. Alternative media exists. The scriptures exist to expose you, to let us know that, man. Look, when these devils talk, don't hear everything they're saying. You better find out whether or not that's true. Because Esau says a lot of shit. Says a lot of things, right? And so most of it is lies, right? So again, blessed is that man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Okay, we're not about lies out here. Okay, we're about the truth. Okay, you Edomites are about lies. Okay, you want to propagate lies everywhere. And you want to believe in them. It's Isaiah 47. Let's see. I brought this out in the previous video that I did, right? Because America was founded on witchcraft, man. All right, but let me read from verse 9. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Right? You're not a holy people. You're not a righteous people. You're a people brought up on evil and wickedness and witchcraft. Right? Deception, lies. That's part of your witchcraft. The lies and deception, because you're trying to manipulate the perception of people. That's witchcraft. Right? In a right, honest world, there is no need for lies. You can be upfront. You're supposed to be upfront. Right? Whether it's good or bad, you should be able to be upfront, man. But no, these men want to push lies so that it can warp your perception of reality. That's witchcraft. All right? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee. Right? So you believe in, you trust in, manipulating the people. That's one of your main things is to manipulate, to tell lies and to manipulate. Right? So thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am in the lost beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast laboured from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail, right? So stand on all these lies, right? Because you're going to find that these lies, they're not concrete, man. Lies are not concrete, right? And like I said, your whole house of cards is going to come falling down because your lies are going to be exposed, and the truth is going to, demolish you, It's Isaiah 28 verse 15, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell we are in agreement. When the overthrowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge. Right? Your whole kingdom is based upon lies. Right? And you think this protects you. And it's worked. It's worked for a little while. But it ain't working no more, man. America's looking stupid right now, man. Trump is looking as stupid as hell. And those that believe in Trump, those that support Trump, they're looking as stupid as hell, man. Alex Jones looking stupid for ever believing in this guy. But we know he's an Asian, he's a shill. But it's like there's a whole bunch of people that believed in Trump just because he said some things that you agreed with, thinking that he was gonna make good on everything that he said. But he's gone back on everything that he said, everything. And it's just one twist of words from another, contradicting statements one after another, as if these are all good things. Like everything that's happening is just good. Don't worry about it. It's just good. It's gonna work out. Everything's good. Man said I'm gonna lower the prices, and all the prices are going up. Oh well, and they're trying to sell it off like it's all right, bro. America's through, right? And Trump, it truly is the demolition man, right? Nero Caesar, right? And we hope the Lord bring this place to a swift end, man, right? And we hope this guy is the guy to do it, bro, because he's just ticking too many boxes, right? We hope he brings America down to the ground, okay? Because nothing that's happening is good for America, man. All right. But anyway, carrying on. This is we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus said Lord God, behold, that's what I wanted from that, right? All right. So you made lies your refuge, man. Right? Because you're a nation of liars, right? So reading here in Psalms 58, starting from verse 1, says, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? And the answer is no. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. But at the same time, you're trying to, position yourself as a righteous people, as a righteous nation. But all you're really doing is pumping out wickedness. Excuses to why you need to go do something. Why you got to go persecute somebody else and steal from somebody else. You manage your PR, so people perceive you in a particular light. Again, it's witchcraft. Right? Warping the perceptions of people from what you're truly doing. So you sell them a bunch of lies. Right? So yea, in heart you work wickedness, you weigh the violence of your hands in the earth, right? The wicked, okay, which are you Edomites, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You devils are never right. You so-called white man, these Edomites, they've never been right. From birth, they're not a right people, man. They're the wicked. All right? Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Right? You can't tell them anything. Right? They're gonna do what they want to do. They don't care about, and this was crazy about it. These men make up things like international law and all that kind of stuff. Even though these things are not in the scriptures, human rights and this rights and that rights, and they make up all these things to make themselves sound virtuous and caring and all this sort of bullshit. Yeah, but when they're ready, man, they don't give a fuck about any of those things that they created. International law. Trump was like, he just violated, man. He don't care. He don't care about his allies. He don't care about international law. He don't care about human rights. He don't care about children. He don't care about anything. All that matters is the mission. But you're failing at. You're failing. All right? So the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as you're born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken, which means not listen, right? To the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Okay, they're not going to hear the wisdom of the scriptures from the men of the Lord. They're gonna listen. Trump's got spiritual advisors in Paul White, and all she can do is fucking do some vain repetitions talking about angels are coming from Africa to help him. I'm like, bro, like, what? You should be breaking down the scripture to him and telling him, look, man, you go here, that's the end for you, man. You start this war, it's the end for you. But no, they don't. They ain't saying nothing. They don't know nothing. So they're not the wise. They're not the wise. They don't know shit. So break their teeth, oh God. Break their teeth is their power, i.e. the military. And that's what the Lord's currently doing, man. They're being embarrassed right now. But Trump would say to you, oh yeah, we're doing so great, great, the greatest mission that we've ever started, or greatest mission we've ever done. Bro, you're looking stupid, man. All right, but we're meant to believe what's coming out of this demon's mouth. So break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be cut in pieces. All right, that's all I really want from that. All right, so you're just a nation of lies, man. It's always been the same. You devils have never changed, man. All right, I read that already. So it's Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 3. All right, it says, and they bend their tongues like bows for and they bend their tongue like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord. Right. So this is being spoken about our people because we was doing wickedness at the time, man. But this heavily applies to Esau today, man. Right? They can't do nothing but lie. They just lie all the damn time. Right? They're not valiant for the truth. That's why nothing's going to happen about the Epstein files. Ain't nothing going to happen, to all these rings that exist in this world. It just gets swept under the rug and nothing really happens about it. The truth never really comes out. Right? Something comes out and it just, like I said, it gets ignored after a while. It becomes yesterday's news. Like the truth of the matter doesn't ever come out. Truth is always obstructed in this world. So for they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord. Take ye heed every one of his neighbour, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbour will walk with slanders. And they will deceive every one his neighbour, and will not speak the truth. Right, these Edomites are nobody's neighbour, man. Okay, he speaks lies to everybody, including his own people. Right, they don't speak truth. Right? They have taught their tongue to speak lies. Right? These politicians, man, they aggravate me to watch them because they never answer nothing. They always press with these questions and they never fucking answer them, man. It's always what the old Apostle Gabar always says, circumlocution. They just speak around in circles, man. They never address anything. It's never nay, it's never yay or it's never nay. It's never yes or no. It's always some fucking bullshit. Well, if you should, even the two parties that argue against each other, and they'll bring up something that this party did, and the other one will just bring back something that the other party did, and they never address what they've done. You know what I mean? They never address that. Oh, we all see that we did this and da, da, da. Yeah, but what did you do here? Oh, the Labour, they never, they did this and did that. They never ask no fucking questions, man. It's just professional lying, man. Professional bullshitting. That's what they are. That's what they do. Right? So they deceive everyone, one his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. Right? That's what they've done, and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Right? Because they always commit iniquity. Right? The habitation is in the midst of deceit. Though through the Lord they refuse to know me, saith the Lord. Right? You know what I mean? They're not fashioned after the scriptures or what the Messiah said a good man's supposed to be. They don't fashion themselves after that. You know? It's Micah chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence. Right? So we know, the rich, the elites, they run all these nations, man. Right? Trump ain't fucking poor. He's a rich man, even though he's not on an elite level, because he's just a puppet. End of the day, yeah, he got a few millions or whatever, right? But he's not an elite. He's just a puppet, right? But everybody that's with him, that's around him, that supports him, they're fucking rich. They're rich men. Everybody, the people that vote for them, we're the poor. The majority of the poor, right? We know the statistics, how much wealth is with the 1% and all that shit. Like, we know all this, right? The rich rule the world, right? And Trump is part of that club. Right, so for the rich men, they're all full of violence, right? So they always got motivations to go and tear some place down to make more money, because that's all they care about: making more money and getting more power, more influence. Right, so war is lucrative, right? Especially to the the military industrial complex, right? All these Halliburtons and Bowens and all these fucking, what's that? I can't remember that. Lockheed people that make those fucking missiles, man. Lockheed Martin or something like that. All right, they're all making hella cake right now, man, because their missiles ain't fucking cheap. As has been going on, being presented in the news recently, America just throwing money away, trying to attack these Iranians, right? Fucking billion-pound missiles or whatever, and just for nothing. And Iran are fighting smart, fighting the cheap way, right? But yeah, these things are not cheap, and so these men are making hella cake right now. The stocks are going crazy, but all the while the elites are making money at the situation, 100%. Okay, what's a bad day for the stocks ain't a bad day for everybody. Right, I tell you that. Yeah, the poor, yeah, your gas is gonna go up, your petrol's gonna go up. Yeah, you're gonna be fucked, but someone's making money. I tell you this, right? The elites don't lose, man, because they rigged the game. They don't lose. They know everything that's gonna happen before time, right? So they're prepared, right? So yeah, that's what it is, right? So for the rich men, they are full of violence, and the inhabitants there have spoken lies, right? And their tongue is deceitful in their mouth, right? So these politicians, these corporates, these elites, man, don't trust a thing they say, man, because everything they do is for their own interests, or for the greater interest of the elites, right? And so they have let's say a motive or a reason to lie to you, right? To hide things from you, so they can carry on with their agendas, man. Right? Because they don't give a damn about people. They don't care about your vote. They just want you to vote for them, so so you can shut up for a bit, believing that you made some kind of change. You had some kind of impact in the way things are run. But you know for a fact that as soon as these guys are in, you don't have no say in anything. Nobody in America, endorses the war, and yet man are there anyway. Majority of these Americans don't endorse the war. They don't support the war. But did you get asked? No, you didn't. Why? Because you voted in Trump. You voted in Trump, and he's supposed to be making these decisions for you. Because you're meant to, you're given the right to, basically, when you voted for him. They say it's all fucking a game, man. This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 1 says, woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies, right? And robbery. The prey departeth not. right? America is a bloody city, it's a bloody country, a bloody nation. You know, it's full of lies. Okay, your version of history, right? Everything. And robbery, right? Didn't belong to you, did it? Pretty sure people were living there before you came, right? The Native Americans, the Gadites, okay, the Reubenites, right, and so on and so forth. But you stole it from them because you believe you had the right to. Crazy. All right. Let me read on a little bit. So the noise of a whip and the noise of rattling of the wheels and the prances of horses and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favoured harlot, okay, i.e. America, the mistress of witchcrafts. Right? So their witchcraft is many. Okay, the lies is just a part of it. Right? But we're all seeing, the whole Epstein thing, all these things that are going on, the rituals, right? The blood sacrifices, all of that. Right? The idol worship, all of that is going on. Right? That selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Right? Behold, I'm against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and set thee as a gazing stock. And it's starting to happen, man. Like I say, you're looking bad right now. In this war with Iran right now, right? But it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, man. And the whole world's gonna get worse with it because of your actions, you and Israel's actions, right? Because the least of the flock shall draw them out. It's gonna draw all nations into this war, right? Because it's gonna cause problems for everybody. So everybody has an interest in it because we're such a global nation now, a global planet now, that it affects everybody, man. Right? We say every day now we're seeing about how the war is affecting, Europe and affecting China and affecting all these different places because of the oil that's not being moved right now because the Strait of Hormuz is kind of shut down. It's affecting the world. So everybody has a vested interest in resolving this issue. And if they, once they figure out, or once they've decided that Israel's got to go, or America's got to go, then it's on like Donkey Kong, man. These men are gonna enter into the battle. Russia, China, all these men. And you're already losing. You're already being wasteful, inefficient. Right? Your shit's gonna deplete real soon, man. And then you're trying to get South Korea to dismantle their missile systems so you can have it. So you could use them. What, for it to be destroyed again? To be destroyed or to run out. Like, come on, man. It don't sound the most tactically sound, and that's the other issue that's going on right now, or being spoken about, that you got no strategy. You got no strategy, man. You're just going to go there, blow it up, and leave. Regime change and take the uranium and all that. You thought that's what's going to happen, but that's not what's happening. Right? But anyway, everything's going according to plan, so don't worry about it. According to them, right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, right? And like I said, if you know who these devils truly are, like these so-called white people are the Edomites, if you know that, then you know nothing good comes out of their mouth. Nothing can be substantiated, man. Because what they say and what they mean or what they do can be two different things. It could be three different things, right? It could be many different things, right? You can't trust the word of a devil, right? You can't trust the word of an Edomite. You just can't, right? And this is a valuable lesson here that's written in the scriptures, man. Because the Edomites are our enemies, right? The toppest of enemies, right? I mean, yeah, these other nations are our enemies too, right? Same reason why I wouldn't listen to them either. But these Edomites especially, because they were born to be like this, man. Just traitorous and liars. So, yeah, once you know this, it's like, this guy can't pull the wool over your eyes. Because you know he's full of shit. Like, when he says something, you really got to cross-reference that shit. Find out more. Because he ain't telling you the whole story. Right? So anyway, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It's through and through. It's embedded in him, right? Though he humbled himself, go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, right? We know this guy has been on smoke from day one, taking conquering places and persecuting people and stealing from them, stealing land, resources, and oppressing people. This is what he's always been doing. That's how he creates his empires, right? So why think that, here now in the 21st century, if I got that right, right, that he's any different? Because why the fuck is he there? Why is he there over there in the so-called Middle East? Oh, it's because he's arraigned as a savage and they're so immoral and dangerous. All right. You've heard that line before. Throughout history, we've heard the same line with every other nation you've attacked. The same playbook over and over again. Right? You've not changed. You're the same fucking devil. And we know you're just covetous. But we're here to believe that you got noble reasonings as to why you're doing this shit. You haven't. You're the devil. What noble reason could you have? This is what we're reading here. Right? It's all bullshit. Right? Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my word and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come now wild beasts? And best believe it, Esau's getting ready to bite people real bad, right? When he brings out this MOTB, man, he's gonna prick you, man, right, and give you that sea hip, right? And everybody that trusted in him is obviously gonna take that chip, right? And that's why we keep telling you, who will pity a charmer that is bitten, right? Because the snake is a dangerous animal, a dangerous creature, and that it can lash out and bite and poison you. That's what snakes do, right? So a person that's supposed to be, playing with a snake, like it'd be no surprise to the person that watching that person gets bitten. And how are you gonna feel pity for that person who's stupid enough to play with the snake? He should know better, right? It's the same with these people. They should know better who the fuck they're dealing with. But people are ignorant. People have been put in the dark. They've been deceived. Esau has deceived them and lied to them, right? Because he's acting like he ain't the devil, and people believe that. He's told the world that the Edomites don't exist no more, and we're not them. And people believe that. But he's the snake. He is the snake, and nothing can change that. Right? He could only lie about it. All right, but we know who he is. He can't. He can't deceive us. We know he's the snake, and so we ain't playing around with the snake. We ain't letting him, get cozy with us. We see who he is. All right. So anyway, verse 14. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands, and whisper much, and change his countenance. Okay, he gonna reveal his true self, right? Because for the whole time he's been lying to you, right? For this whole time he's been lying. But when the opportunity presents itself, he will reveal his true self and his true intent. Okay, it's just that we know ahead of time because we know who this devil is according to the scriptures. But you people are going to find out the hard way. Right? Because you're embedded in the lie. Alright? And I've just got one more left for this video. So, this is Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 14. Alright, it says, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. I'd like to say we understand what the game is. We understand who the people who are in power, right? We understand their MO, right? We know they have a, you know, they need to lie. All right. And so we're not to be deceived by these things. Everybody else is being deceived by, you know, the actions of these people, these Edomites, thinking that, you know, they're here to save the world or some shit. Right. So naturally, if you think that's the truth, yeah, you want to support that. You want to, you know, fight against the evil, right? You want to be the light of the world. Okay, but the truth is the light of the world is really darkness, man. And that's the light America carries. Wickedness, evil, darkness, witchcraft. Right? That's what you're really supporting. Right? Because you've been deceived by this devil. You've believed the lies that he's spread throughout the whole world. That this guy is some inherently good guy. He's just misunderstood or some shit. Just misunderstood. You know, but no, he's the devil. He's the Edomites, you know, that the scriptures speak about. All right? So again, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men. Right? Again, guys like Trump. You know, it's not all that elegant, the sleight of hand. You got the magicians, you know, they do all their what they call them, their magic tricks, man, illusions, right? They got the illusions, right? And it's just swift. You like, how the fuck did he do that? It looked real. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as elegant as that, because Trump is saying shit and you're just like, what? Like, because we can't see it. You think, well, you're just talking the most amount of shit. You know, all these superlative words and shit. It's just like, what are you talking about? Like, why? Who speaks like this? Right? You're meant to tell me it's that great. You're doing that great. You know? Yeah, you know, you gotta be stupid to believe it. You know what I mean? But hey, some men are heavy under the witchcraft. You know. This is by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. All right, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahweh Shai. All right, so we don't deal with the lies, man. Okay, we're here to expose the lies, right? To break this man's kingdom, to shatter it, right? And all these lies are gonna come out into the open, right? That image of America and how mighty they are and how righteous and virtuous they are. That's all over. That's all over, man. It's coming to an end, right? People are seeing what America is. You know, they like to throw around these titles of paper tigers and that. You're gonna find out America is a paper tiger, really. It's got a lot of boasts, a lot of proud things to say, but can they back it up? Yeah, they got bare missiles and aircrafts and shit, but what are they doing? What are they achieving? Haven't achieved shit. Haven't achieved shit thus far, right? And that's about boots on the ground. Good luck with that. Okay, we've seen the geography of the land there, man, and yeah, that's kind of mad. It's a mad to kind of go in there, boots on the ground. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there. I'll tell you that much. All right, but yeah, the lies of this place is going to come to an end soon, and America is going to be, come out this looking, they got egg on their faces, some shit. Okay, when the Lord, judges them, and these Edomites, man, they're going to lose their prestige in the earth, because you really ain't that guy, man. But anyway, with that, when this has been edifying, I'll catch you bros on the next video, the next time, right? So then I'll say shalom. Ka'ala Yabashim Shai.